There we go.
I was going to get it to have a glance at it,
Right?
and then you go ahead and read it.
I will. Absolutely.
Loud,
Yeah.
so we can all understand what it's about,
Yeah. 100%.
and I will explain as we go.
Yes.
You want to turn it towards you? Or?
I'll just stand and read it, actually, is what I'll do. We're live, Ryan?
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got the internet thing situated. How many we got in there?
49 so far.
Okay, so we're just coming together. I want to introduce you to a very lovely lady. Her name is Clan Mother Nancy Scanie. And Nancy has a story of unfathomable proportions, which fits into the puzzle that we've been trying to put together. And we're winning this. Nancy, thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate you being able to share this with us. Now, just kind of what we talked about a little bit there a little while ago. You have been hunting this document down since 1982?
No, 19.
We are live on Pat's Facebook page as well, guys.
Late 1880s.
Okay.
When I started searching for it.
Right. And then when you started looking for it, where did you end up finding it?
New York.
How's the volume, guys?
In the New York City, United States of America archives.
Yeah.
Any reason why that would have been in the New York City archives?
Because the
sound check, please.
Government and the United States government made a deal that all the documents of the United States is kept duplicates
Okay.
in Canada, and same with Canada.
All the duplicate documents are kept there for safekeeping.
Yeah.
In their archives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I found that Queen's Market out there.
Okay, so
5 years after.
5 years, but it was a friend of yours in California that you messaged that you wanted to get this document. She hunted it down, found it, and then you put in a request for it, right?
And the guys from New York Archives said they would not give it to her, but they would send it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she gave them my address, and 5 years later, she came this parcel and registered. I had to go sign it out.
Yeah.
So I signed it out. I come home. I open up the bargain. I open up that parcel, and here was this bargain. I thought, my God, it does exist.
It does exist.
It's not only about this. The sun is up there. The rivers are flowing with the grass is green. That's all the Native people ever knew. They never knew there was something else besides that. That's why my curiosity carried me on to find this one. This bargain that I got here, it is one of the most powerful bargains that was made between the Native people and the Queen of England.
The most powerful bargain
ever
made.
Yes.
Between the Native people and the Queen of England.
Queen. She calls her brothers and sisters. She said right there, dear brother, dear chief brother, she wrote.
Right.
That means that I was her sister. That meant that the queen was not my queen.
No.
She was my sister. And the Constitution and the laws of Canada does not supersede this bargain. It does not. You can fight with that in court anywhere.
Right.
And there's not a damn thing they can do about it. Because they cannot say, No, we listen to the Queen's words.
That's right.
Well, they bullshit. They never listen to nothing.
Now, and was the bargain. And why was this written?
It was written because Canada was being taken over by these people that were coming into the country. And the Queen herself, she had England people fighting with the French out here too in the States.
Yes.
The Queen herself decided that she had to make some sort of bargain with the native people because they were going to kill them all off. And that's when she wrote that letter to the native people. And what she wrote there is 100% true. The only thing that happened was that, well, not only, but the worst thing that happened was them taking that art, taking it, stealing it, and putting it in the archives.
So they stole it and put it in the archives. But didn't they steal it originally for a few years and revamped all the law?
They stole it for 5 years because they were studying it.
And who was that stole it?
Mr. MacDonald and all those people there was one from England that was King George.
King George, Sir John A. Macdonald.
Queen Victoria's son.
Queen Victoria's son.
And Mr. MacDonald.
Yeah.
The Pope.
The Pope too.
The Pope too was number one there.
Okay.
The Pope, and there was the Irish people.
The Fenians.
United States and Canada.
Right. So the Irish people, they were called the Fenians.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that time, they were Fenians. Yeah.
So they were all working together.
All of them conspiring together against the native people.
And lying, stealing.
Like they're still fraud. Doing
when
today.
When they stole that, there was downright fraud.
Right.
We go to jail for that.
That's right.
And they got away with it.
So this document was drawn up, the original document between the nations and these colonizers, we'll call them, we'll say it because that's what they are. They came over here, they colonized. And when we see this document, I'm just looking at it and I'm trying to understand it all. I've never seen this myself. I've never seen this document myself, but I really do feel like a kid in a candy store right now. This is like the height of everything I've been working for. Now, before we go on to go and explain more to the rest of the people, how powerful has this document been for you since it's been in your hands? What have you been able to accomplish with this?
The first time I got it, I thought I'm going to go and see if it's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to court with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what happened here. So I went to court. My first court case was in Fort McMurray.
Fort McMurray, Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There we had to help the native people from Fort McKay fight for their land against the oil companies. And my nephew and I, we went there and we went and helped them. And there was 128 lawyers.
128 lawyers.
And were all for the oil companies, the government, and it was little me and 5 other people.
You and 5 other people against 128 lawyers.
Plus the judges.
Plus the judge, yeah.
3.
3 judges.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So, when after they said that the land, they were talking about money. I'm not talking about just thousands. I'm talking about millions that was going to be made if the Port Canadians got there.
Yeah.
So I told I lifted up my hands and I told the judge, I said, sir, I said, I would like to speak on the land, I told him. So after I passed all that letter around to every one of them, then judge asked for recess. I told him, Mike, you can look at that bargain all you want. You can bring it to all the lawyers that you want. I said, this bargain supersedes your court cases, and it supersedes Canadian Constitution. I said, sir, I said, this land is ours. You give it back to those people the way they had it. And you got nothing to say about that land. So, it stayed like that. 1 o'clock came, we went back to court. Here was all these lawyers with their briefcases passing us. My nephew Harvey said, hey, he said, that court's over there, not over there. Tell that to that old lady, she shut that court case down in 45 minutes.
You shut the court case down in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So all 128 lawyers, ladies and gentlemen, walked out of the courtroom. Judges too.
Oh, yeah.
Walked right out of the courtroom. And then her son said, or your son or your nephew?
My nephew.
Her nephew said, hey guys, where are you going? It's going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. The court's that way. And they said, oh no, that little old lady just got us shut down. And they all had to leave. They all had to abandon ship with this document.
And left.
And left. And then you've been using this document to help other people.
Oh, yeah.
And this document has been around. And the one that is one of the biggest and most recent ones is Kamloops.
Yeah.
And what happened in Kamloops? She giggles. I love it. She giggles about it.
My friend Vera phoned me up. She said, Nancy, I heard that you fight for natives. I heard that you got a Queen's bargain that would supersede the court cases. She said, we've been fighting for 3 years. We're not allowed to fish. They took all our fish away, she said. She said, Nancy, she said, come on down. We'll pay for your travel expenses. So that next day, my husband and I took off down there. We had to be there for Thursday morning for the court case. We got over there, and I said with her, she was a lawyer, a native lawyer. She checked this bargain out, and at 10 o'clock, we were at the court case, at the courtroom. And it was only them, it was a kangaroo court.
Kangaroo court.
Yeah. No, that's what I call it.
That's what we call it too. It's all kangaroo court.
So anyway, we walked in and here was just her and her family and the rest of the lawyers.
Was there a lot of lawyers at that time?
There was only 3.
3 lawyers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, this one judge, I gave him that Queen's bargain. I gave it to the lawyers. And I told him, I said, do you mind reading that letter to me? I said, this land is ours. The animals are ours. We can kill them whatever time we want to eat, we can kill it. There's not a damn thing you can do about it or say about it, I said. This bargain supersedes your laws. I said, sir, I said, would you mind giving back all the nets and the fish and everything back to these people? He said, again, they had recess.
They took a recess.
By 1 o'clock, when the court proceeded again, they brought back all their fishing nets, their truck, their fish boxes.
Really?
And they were going to give them back the fish that were sitting in their cooler for 3 years while their deep freeze dried, their white fish all dried up, eh? Farah told him, he said, you can keep the fish. You eat it. We'll take our nets back.
And they took them back.
And they took all their truck back, their nets back, their fishing bunkers back, everything.
So this is absolutely historic. Now I'm going to go ahead. You've allowed me the permission to read it, and I'll read it. I'll go paragraph by paragraph, and you can explain it. Is that how we'll do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is your first look at it. And it says here at the very top, agreement between the Deki, if I pronounce this wrong, I apologize. The Deki?
The Duke.
The Decus? Oh, is that?
The Duke, that Queen Victoria.
Oh, okay, so this is in actual calligraphy English. Duke and Queen Victoria, the year of 1965 on 1665. I'm nervous because this is awesome. I'm nervous. The year 1665 on the bargain 1835. And in the first one it says, New King of Canada, I am writing to you. We have to change the rules of the whites. We will put head offices in Canada on the Indian Act and superintend on provincial rules. Lawyer for your business, doctor, Indian affairs, and on this Indian Act and rules of Canada. In the year of 1820, we sent Simpson to control the company in the year 1821. We sued Hudson for selling your goods, so I am renewing the treaty and monies. $120 a year and tax-free. The rules of the Indian Act of Canada. When the year is due, the superintendent will give you money tax-free. What does that mean?
When the Queen made treaties with the native people, she said I will give $120 for a treaty money. The government stole that money. They took $115 and they gave us $5.
What?
And that's all we ever got, that $5. Every treaty.
Can you imagine how much that would be worth in 1835? $120 a year?
Yeah.
That's lots.
115 because we got $5.
Why did they take the 115?
Ask them. Maybe it needs a pocket change.
Needed some pocket change. But no. when we look at this though, and you think of it now, in 1835 or 1665, here the numbers mean nothing. It's the $120 at that time was a lot of money.
Yes.
That was maybe the equivalent of getting like $100,000. I don't know. That might be.
You could live all year round.
You could live all year round with that.
Yeah.
But instead, they took 115 of it
And gave us
and gave you $5.
Yeah. For treaty money.
For treaty money.
Yeah, that they stole that $115 out of that.
That's insane.
Those son of a bitches. I don't give a damn if I swear at them.
I don't care if you swear. Please go
Because
right ahead.
If they tell me that I'm swearing, I'll just tell them I'm sorry. There's a language you taught me, and I'll see if it's the way I learned it.
That's
We,
right.
we got 820 people who want a couple dollars in the swear jar.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll read the next bit. Now you will have to make the township. The whites will have to pay you for everything you have. You make head townships in Canada, have reservations to keep the whites off the reserve, and free Indian navigation. Free gates for settlers and timber of 100 acres. We leave it as you gave it to the settlers. Only the pine for the lumbermen, and 60 cents share on navigation rights if you are on the boat. What does that mean?
When you made a bargain with the native people, she said that we could ride the train or the buses
Yeah.
half price.
Half price.
Half price. But that never happened.
No.
And so it never did happen. That freedom, that right for them to travel wherever they wanted to go across.
So you were supposed to have half price access anywhere.
Yeah,
You were supposed to have free movement anywhere,
yeah,
and it didn't happen.
nothing.
Nothing.
No. And then they talk about what do you say? The first one.
You will make township.
Oh, he said you make townships. We didn't make it. They squatted.
They squatted.
Yeah, they come into the country and they like the place. They just came in and chased the natives away from their land and took their land.
Wow.
And that was what was happening. And till this very day, it's still happening.
It is still happening.
Yeah.
The encroaching on our Canadian soil, the thievery of our resources, they're scooping it up. It's called like the Great Canadian Land Grab right now.
It is.
And what they're doing in this is they are taking the Queen's dowry, which is what she had as assets, because she's bankrupt. So now there's companies coming in, foreign companies, of specific foreign locations. And we'll be careful how we say with this, because I'm not sure how the algorithms got set today. But you're all saying it and you're all thinking it. And I know everybody in there is thinking it. But they're scooping up our assets still to this day to try and recoup the debt that the Queen had. And now the Queen has no money. What we're seeing today is now somebody else coming in and taking our resources.
Well, every day they're supposed to pay us 5% on all the minerals.
On all the minerals.
All the minerals, it says in there.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, wait, let's get this straight. When they said they can make their own townships, they didn't even get a say in that. What happened was they come in and they squatted on their land and they pushed them away. So they never had the rights. And this is something to fortify exactly how all of this is going to work to break your contract. We're going to read the next paragraph here. It's free traveling all over Canada, any place you go. If you want a house in Canada, you go to the superintendent, put in your order, and he will see that it is built.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, she says. Say that again.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, she says. The next one says, it will cost nothing. They will pay for it. I will put a warden in to mind your game wherever your animal will make its track in Canada. You can follow it until you get it. If the whites want your animal, they will have to pay you for it with the license.
With license.
What does that mean?
And then they're supposed to come to us and get hunting license.
So the hunting licenses have to come from our First Nations.
Instead it comes from the federal government.
Comes from the government.
And again, they took our resources.
And I'm a hunter, and I can confirm that I have to go to the government to get my license to go hunting.
Yeah, so you're supposed to come to us and ask us for a license. And what you want, you get it, it's yours.
Right.
But that hasn't happened.
That never happened.
It never happened.
It's never happened. But on your own land.
On our own land. And then to top of it, we have to buy a license ourselves.
You know what that is?
Our own hunting.
You have to. Wow.
You know what that is, right?
Eh?
You know what that is, right? Bullshit.
Again.
Bullshit again. Okay. So, now we go into here. If you work for a white man, they cannot garnish your wages. The whites will have to pay the taxes you are entitled to, 3% on the taxes and 3% on the timber, and $3 stumpage besides, and 5% on the mines. And if you have money in the band, it is 5%. Also, game money is yours. If the whites crowd you, you are to go to the superintendent and put in your complaint, and he will take it up to the lawyer and he will be prosecuted. Mm-hmm. So now we have a government that is giving up our lands, who now can be prosecuted
for what they've done wrong.
For everything they've done wrong.
Yes. How many billions and billions of trees have they taken off our land? They were starting to have no trees. Pretty soon we're going to be sitting like in the Sahara Desert if they keep up what they're doing right now, taking our trees They got no right to touch those trees, and they're doing it. They take minerals off our land, and they never gave a penny out of it. Everything that is written down there is all reversed by the government of Canada.
By the corporation.
Yes.
And they basically have pushed you aside.
And push us in a little sardine cans.
That's right.
Right now, what's happened to Native people across Canada is that they want the rest of the land that they got. So what they're doing is they're putting us in together as a little colony. And whatever colony we got, that's where we're to stay. And the rest of our land, that's free. Like here, if they get me out of here, this land, they can grab it for white people. Like over here across from my daughter's place. If it was their land, you could go take pictures there. There's some white people that squatted on our land right over here. And they're building their houses. This is about 6 brand new houses on our land over here. And who's doing that?
I don't know.
The town mayor, who else, eh?
Really?
He would be the one that would be selling our land to these white people and making them move on to our land. They're coming in from the south and they're coming in from the north, squeezing us out. They're trying to put us in a colonized here. They told us that they're going to put us together. Well, over my dead body, will the government or anybody tell me where to go?
That's right.
They can go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
It's our land and they damn well know it. And I will go to any court in Canada. I don't give a damn what kind of a court. I will fight with this. I told a judge, I said, sir, when I went to court in Fort McMurray, sir, I said, I don't have a judge. You're supposed to be my judge. You're supposed to look after our affairs. Lawyers sitting over there are supposed to be looking after us. I said, today I don't have a lawyer to defend me or a judge to turn to. But I said, let this Barker be my lawyer. And that's what I did.
And it worked.
And it went. Beat the hell out of them right out of court.
Okay, we'll go on, and I believe this will be the last part of it. The bargain is made, and I am sending you a medal as good as gold. As long as there is an Indian in the country, generation to generation. King, chief, brother, I am telling you, a nephew is born.
King George.
My son, I am your sister, Queen Victoria. Forever this bargain we made between you and I will stand. As long as there is water in the lakes and run in the rivers and creeks, and the green grass grows. The bargain, the year of 1665, comes the year 1835, is good as long as the sun and moon shines. It cannot change. This bargain is for the King, Chief of Canada, from Queen Victoria.
Your sister.
Your sister? That just makes you mad, eh?
Oh, the one pissed me off.
Pissed you right off.
Who's the King Chief? Was that McDonald?
Hey?
The King Chief, was that McDonald or is that a First Nation guy?
That's the Native people.
So at this time when this was written, do you know who the King Chief was?
No.
No?
But that could be found.
It could be found.
It'll be in history.
So we would be, well, they're wiping out history as fast as we can shake a stick at it these days.
It's a life anywhere.
Right.
With the Native people, the older people.
Yeah. So my question is, this is for the Indian Act, right? Now, under their...
Not for Indian Act or no Indian
No,
Act.
I know they're just saying this, right? As for the Indian, and that's such a I don't even like saying the name. But what I'm saying here for this is, how could this document help all of Canadians? the ones that are being oppressed now, the ones who are being shunned away and pushed into corners and pushed into their own little circles.
There's only one way we can do that. Because every day I get phone calls. Nancy, what are we going to do? We're being pushed aside. Martial law is coming in.
Yes.
It makes me do a lot of thinking when I sit here. And the only way we can do this to beat the Canadian Constitution is for us clan grandmothers to go to the court of the world and let them know what's in there.
So we need our clan mothers to band together and go to the court of the world.
Yeah.
And where is that?
Wherever.
The Hague, I think, isn't it?
Hague in Switzerland?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Hague in Switzerland.
Wherever it is.
Switzerland being the neutral country. You don't want to go to that place.
How about, Nancy, if we go set up this teepee at the legislature grounds in Edmonton, can you get some more clan grandmothers to come join us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem there.
Okay.
No problem.
No.
So if we go and we make a statement and we lay claim back, we can have your permission to put a teepee and bring all the clan mothers together and do it here for the province of Alberta and invoke this again and give the land back to the people.
That's right.
That's right. And we can. And that's what I want to do.
I am the clan grandmother, keeper of the water, and the president of Canada and the United States. That's who I am.
Wow. See,
I am the head of the Turtle Island. I am sitting right on the turtle's head right now. The turtle's body is over there in the west. The other leg is in the east. The other hind leg is in the south corner. The other one is over there in the south corner, and that tail is into the stage.
That's the central...
Baja, Mexico. The tail is down in the Central America. The other leg is Florida. And then up to the right is the leg. And the other leg is part of the Queen Charlotte Islands. And then the head is right here.
Right here.
Right here.
So I'm sitting on a brain.
You're sitting on a brain.
Yeah.
And you have a brain as sharp as this is amazing. I'm so proud to have met you.
Well, I'm proud to finally meet somebody that will finally listen to what I've been saying all these years. I talk to Native people. I talk to white people. Every chance I get that this land was taken, we want it back.
We want it back.
We want it back.
Louder.
We want this goddamn country back.
Yes.
The Air Force took our land away from us. They leased it for 20 years, 1952. They were supposed to give it back to us in 1970. And they told that government that we lied and that we signed the land away for us to never talk about it again.
They tricked you.
They tricked us. They didn't trick us. They told the government that we signed the land away.
And you didn't.
And we never did. Because they promised we're going to give it back in 20 years.
And that would have been 1972.
1970.
1970.
My homeland was up there in Primrose Lake. And every fall by now, we should all go over there for the winter, our winter home. 1972, the people went back over there to go back to their trap line. The trap line was closed down. Nobody was to go over there. We lost our whole houses, everything in there, everything. Our house, the household, our traps, everything was taken away. We never did go back over there because we were told never to go back there. So we lost everything. They were going to compensate us for what we lost. And there's only 2 of us alive out of all those people that used to live over there. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, the government gave the Bonneville $54 million for Primrose. They gave $38 million to Grand Center. That was supposed to be our money, that was our land.
That's right.
And George and I never got a damn penny out of it. Instead, Bonneville took advantage of it and used that money that was stolen money.
Right.
So there's lots wrong with what has happened here. When I think about and the cries that I hear from the people saying, what can we do, Nancy? I sit here and I think about things. Every day I sit here. How can we do something without killing each other? Without having the government always lying to us and taking our land piece by piece. They could even as much as take a sand, piece by piece, they'd take the goddamn land for all the minerals and the trees that we have here. And they don't give a damn about us. And now they're trying to put us in a bunch of little crowds, and so they can take the rest of the land from us. And here we're going to be sitting in like a bunch of sardines in a can. That's what's going to happen to us if we don't get people from the outside to help us.
I'm here to help.
Oh, I'm happy that it is.
I am here to help in the most strongest way that I can. And I know that with what we have and with what your people have under tribal lands, and I'm part Anishinaabe Ojibwe from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
And I come out here 25 years ago to work in the oil field. But I seen what I've never seen before in my life. And when I came out here and I moved out here and I seen how our people were treated and how they have been absolutely disgustingly mistreated for so long, that I've felt kind of this urge, and I'm sorry I'm so late right now to come and do this, but I think that was my time to understand and see with my own eyes. But I see it now.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've come to ask for knowledge, and this is the knowledge that I've been seeking. And my goal is to take this back and to hand this back to everybody and give it back to the people. So with this document, this can add to the piece of the puzzle that can break that contract for the First Nations. And then we have the document that we can break the contract for the Indigenous that have already lived, that have been born of the land. And this is why I call this, and I say this, is in their terminology, and Indigenous is the wrong name. It says non-origin. It means you have no rights to the land when they use that crimson tongue. They call it the crimson tongue. And that's what they've used on us. So they've put it in their documents. Now this is the original document that says to everybody that they squatted on this land. They've taken our land. They've taken the rights away from the people, and they've taken everything from them and lied and cheated and stealed everything. I should say stole, but they're still stealing. So we're going to take some snapshots of this document. We're going to somehow incorporate this. But what I can say here right now, and this is why I'm asking, is we've been trying to wake up the clans. We've been trying to gather the warriors. We're trying to gather all the people of the land and take it back. And one way we do that is by parking ourselves on her ship. And either she sails off into the sunset or we take it. And if we put that land and we put that mark of our First Nations on the land, that's the first sign that we are coming to take our land back. Once done, I feel, and I've been in my heart, and I'm going to say this to the people, and I want you to kind of go on to Peter and Brenda here, or Barb, sorry, My bad. I'm sorry. She made us such a great meal. I'm still kind of a little half comatose from it. Yesterday morning, and this is something that I know you're gonna hear, and you're gonna. This is what I want to reestablish. Why I know that this is what we need to do. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday morning there was just me and myself, Ryan, and Peter and his wife, Peter. We saw something yesterday morning when we started to talk, and it was just us. And all of a sudden, a raven flew over, said hi, parked on the top of the ledge grounds, and talked to us and spoke to us and had some conversations. And when we were done doing our talk, he flew away. And Peter said, "That was beautiful. If only we could ask for an eagle." When the day was over yesterday, Grandfather came back on the same way he came out, landed back on the ledge ground, stood at the top of the peak of the legislature, and an eagle showed up and soared above the legislature.
Huh. What was that yesterday?
Yesterday morning.
I
and
was
after-
asked to go over there, but I had you guys to be with.
Yes.
Today I was supposed to be in Edmonton, fighting with the dead, the clan grandmothers. So that's where I was supposed to be. But I thought this one here is the beginning of the beginning. So I thought this would be more important, and that one is important too.
Yes.
But that is an ongoing thing.
That's right.
So, with your help and the clan grandmothers,
That's right.
who are the head of Canada, are the head of the Native people, between the clan grandmothers and you and all of us, we're going to make history.
Yes. Yes.
1977, I had cancer. I lost all my stomach lining. The doctor told me that I had only 6 months to live. I was skin and bones, I had no hair. I came back from Nova Scotia. I lived over there for 5.5 years. I came back here to die because I wanted somebody to at least take care of my kids that are still growing up. Only to find out that I was shot by my own people. I was told that I didn't belong with my Native people no more, to get out. Go back to the white people. After I gave up my house, my land in Nova Scotia, I came back here to be kicked in the face with my children, to be put out on the street. That time, when I died on the operating table, I heard a voice talking to me. And his voice told me, "Nancy, you cannot come out here yet. You gotta go back and help the Native people." Oh, I looked and I thought to myself, how in the hell am I supposed to help my Native people when I don't know nothing about my Native ways? I grew up in a residential school. I lost my right as Native person. I didn't know nothing about my native way except my language, which I never lost. When I was on that table, I was told that I had to come back and help my people, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. The voice told me when the time comes, they'll hear from them again. 1985, Trudeau said equal right to all women of Canada. June 17, 1985, Trudeau said all equal rights to all women of Canada. I didn't believe that, so I phoned up to Trudeau himself. I got him as soon as he got into his office. I asked him then, is that true that women have their equal rights? Does that mean us Native women too? And he said yes. So we got our rights back. The rights that were taken away from me because I married a white person. They gave me back that right, but no land, no house, no nothing. I was told that the day is going to come when the second one comes. The first one was fighting for the Native woman. I won that in 1985. 1987, I fought for the right of the residential schools. I am the survivor of those residential schools. I went to school in 1947 in Bluecoat School, St. Paul, Alberta. I walked out of there in 1954. The torture that we went through in those schools was beyond me, beyond anybody. Nobody would believe what we went through in those damn schools. I don't like to remind myself of those schools. I hate even thinking about them. Because, to me, the Pope himself is a hypocrite. He could have had the nerve, the guts to come up here and say, we're sorry for what we done to you guys. We could have had Anglican leaders, Pentecostal leaders, all the churches. There was 5 churches that were involved in that. They should have all come and apologized, but they never did. They never as much as acknowledged the idea that what us survivors went through. Just lately they talk about all the children that they found in those schools. Local school has a lot to hide. The big furnace room that's behind the kitchen was never looked behind that furnace room. Where they were killing all these children and burying them behind the furnace. They were burying kids behind the skating ring, the boys' side. How many children are buried over there in the bush? How many little heads will they find behind the furnace? They as much as raped little girls, 13 years old, and they got her pregnant. The nuns brought the baby into the world. They dropped up that baby and threw it in the furnace, right in front of her. Those 3 little girls. They're from Enoch. They cried and they cried and they cried. They wanted to go home. The nuns had they got fed up with those 3 little girls crying all the time. We should have a cold room. We hung all our coats out there after we were outside. Those 3 little girls were just crying. The nuns kept those 3 little girls in that room, and we all went back into our sitting room, and we all stood at the door listening for those little girls crying. The nuns locked them up in there. We listened for those kids crying. Pretty soon all they could hear was, I said, "Holy good here." And I was staying with the little girls. None of us knew what happened to those little girls. It was never talked about after that. The priest from here, when I went to the day school, his name was Father Chavez. He was the dirtiest pig that ever lived on earth. He just hold his goddamn rosary. And that time that epidemic came around, he had a clue. 1958. My whole family was at Bonneville Hospital. Just George and I were the only ones left there. We had to go hitchhike to Bonneville to go and visit our mom and dad. And here this dirty priest was in there. I was sitting beside my mom there visiting her when this priest come along and he was putting his hand underneath my skirt. I thought, "You filthy pig." I told my mom, I said, "Mama," I said, "that priest is trying to bother me." So I got up and I left. I went outside and I was trying to find a way home. And I saw that priest coming out. I went hiding, but he saw me. "Oh, Nancy, I can take you home." I did not want to go home with him because he was out for sex and that's all he wanted. But he kept insisting. So I caught a ride with him. He had a Volkswagen. I sat here, he was driving over there. Between Bonneville and Fort Ken, he kept saying, "Come sit down closer," he said, "be warmer." And then he started reaching for my legs. I told him, I said, "Keep your hand to yourself." He insisted, and I wouldn't let him. And he finally said, "Oh," he said, "it's going to be a storm." He said, "We better set our rosary." I thought, "You two-faced hypocrite son of a bitch. You try to rape me and then you turn around and telling me to pray with you." These are the things that we faced with the priests and the nuns. And they got away with it. They killed hundreds and hundreds of children. And what does the government say? "We're sorry." Is that it? Nowadays, if somebody kills somebody, a native person kills somebody right now, that kid is in jail for murder.
25 years.
25 to life.
Yep.
And now, and the government, it's okay for them to kill whoever they goddamn want, feel like it. There's two sides to their constitution. One for them and one for us.
Rules for me and rules for thee.
Yeah. So, as far as I'm concerned, these churches and the government should be paid to pay for what happened there.
That's right.
By their lives. If the Jewish people can do it when they were all killed off and they turned around and they got those guys, they all had to be sent back to their country and face the court for what they'd done.
The Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we do the same thing?
That's
It says right there, the Queen sued the Hudson's Bay for...
right there.
Yeah. Where
Superintendent.
up there.
New King of Canada, I'm writing to you. We have to change the rules of the whites. We will put head offices in Canada on the Indian Act and superintend on provincial rules. Lawyer for your business, doctor, Indian Affairs, and on the Indian Act and rules of Canada. I think it was down here is where we said, if the whites crowd you, you are to go to the superintendent and put in your complaint, and he will take it up to the lawyer and he will be prosecuted. It's time to prosecute, would you not say, Nance? It's time to prosecute. It's time to
face justice.
Time to face justice.
It's time for them to face justice and pay for what happened.
That's right. And I'll tell you,
And
When
money can never ever undo what they did.
never.
Never.
And that's just a tidbit of what you experienced. You got us crying. I was crying. That's horrible. I can't believe you went through that.
Well, I walked through hell. I got marks from my legs where the nuns dragged me down the stairway and tore my legs open. Here's one right there.
They ripped your calf right open.
Oh, yeah. And the other one is right here.
By dragging you down the hallway.
No, drag me down the stairway.
Oh, down the stairway.
Yeah. They took all the meat out. There was just a bone sticking out right there and came here.
Oh,
And-
wow.
And I suffered with that for 2 years until my mom doctored me with her medicine.
Natural medicine.
Yeah, and cured that. It was so infected. It turned purple, green, pussy.
Yeah.
That's how they not let me go. So, as far as I'm concerned, I have no pity for them. I don't have any faith in the Catholic Church or any of that church no more. I believe in my native way, my sweat lodge, where I can sit there and purify my mind, my body, and my soul. And they can never give me that.
You can't.
So when I think about all what we had gone through, we had gone through terrible, terrible time. What has happened to us was a Holocaust,
And it's still going.
and it is still going.
Do you know it's still happening to everybody now? All Canadians is going through that now?
They're trying to put that martial law on Native people on the reserves, and they said that if we don't go get a needle, they're going to force us to get that needle, and if we don't get that needle, they're going to put us in a special jail. They can shut their cotton picking jails up their hind end, because I sure as hell will never be there.
And I won't be there either.
No,
And everybody in this room won't be there either.
no way.
So now what we want to do for that is, with your permission, if we can make this happen, I think it's time we make a stand.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yes.
100%. If you can talk to your people through that magic window and tell them, what would you say to your people and to the people of Canada through the camera?
Lots of people
There's
listening.
lots of people listening. What would you say to them? Speak to them.
It is about time, ladies and gentlemen, what we had gone through as Native people. It's about time that somebody listens to us, and someone is listening to us, to take back our land and to see justice happen. The Constitution of Canada is something that they're playing with. It is not a constitution for us. Now that we got a chance, let us fight with the Queen's bargain that I've been trying to tell everybody. This bargain is a true bargain for every one of us Native people across Canada. Use it because I gave it to all of you. There's thousands of copies of this letter throughout Canada where I pass them around. Use them, because that was our only weapon. And don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared of, my dear brothers and sisters. It is time for us to get up and fight. Get up and fight. If I can do it, so can you, every one of you. That's what I have got to say to every one of you. Stand up and fight for our land, because we're going to end up with nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Thank you, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth. And You can't get any more blatantly truthful than that. My question now, the Canada flag. Do you know about the original Canada flag?
The Union Jack.
Where is it?
Underneath Trudeau's beat. Taking dust.
But there, is it time to bring out the original Canadian flag?
That's one question that was never asked of me.
There was a flag that was given,
I know.
you know.
I know what that. I was in school when I first learned about the Union Jack. And I didn't know any better because I didn't know nothing about the laws of Canada.
Yeah.
I was too young to know. But now that I know, sorry to tell you, but I never studied
Okay.
the Union Jack.
Okay. We have people that have though,
Yeah.
and I was just there was a question that was asked by a fellow First Nations lady by the name of Kim, who's Ojibwe First Nations as well, and she wanted to see if maybe we knew where the original Canadian flag was, and we could stake it in the ground when we put the teepee up, and we take a stand.
Put up the Union Jack?
No. That Union Jack right now is flying on the top of the legislature grounds in Edmonton right now.
Really?
It shouldn't even be there. And that's what we were trying to establish, and I've been asking people what those
when
flags
we
are.
get there, we'll take it down and put it on our TP.
There you go. We'll take it down, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take that Union Jack down. That's awesome. Would you like to... I just want to say what a pleasure it is to be able to talk to you about all of this, and I'm thanking you very much for allowing me to come into your home and read this document. We're going to take a bunch of pictures of this, but I want to ask the people here in Canada. I don't want to ask your age or nothing because it's rude. But if you see...
I'm coming on 83 years old, so proud.
You're 83 years old?
Yeah, and getting younger.
And getting younger, okay.
More feisty.
And more feisty. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady has more fight than half the people I know. And I'm going to stand with Nancy, the great clan mother of this land. Your title is Great Clan Mother, President...
Clan grandmother, president of Canada.
President of Canada.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand with her. Are you guys going to stand with her? Are we going to stand with her and give her her justice? Are we going to stand with our First Nations and give them their justice? Because it's not just theirs we're fighting for anymore. It's ours as well. They've been fighting long enough. It's time that we start the fight and keep it going. And if we do this, I will never give up. And I will never back off that land. I will stand there forever until the day I die. And I make that promise to you today. And I made that promise last week that I've drawn my line in the sand and I am not moving. They want me, they can come and get me. Thank you so much. I will stand and I am not backing down.
Neither am I.
I can't wait.
Neither am I.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to just take some more pictures. We'll be back in a short bit. We're going to show you something else here in a minute. But is there any questions that, can people on there ask you questions? If there's anybody who has a question for Nancy, we'll take a handful of questions if anybody has any. So then we just kind of give it a couple seconds and Ryan will read you off a couple questions that people are going to ask.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of a delay between when we speak and when the audience sees it.
Nancy, do you have copies? Any extra copies already? I might have some in my van, I'm not sure.
So far, just a lot of I love you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Never ever give up. Thank you, Nancy. I stand with you, Nancy. We got over 1,000 people watching.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Keep on coming. There's more there's more natives in this country than the government of Canada can shake a stick at.
Would you make a call out to the warriors?
The warriors, all you warriors of country, I need your help again. When I was in protesting in Edmonton, I was told to go home to my homeland. You guys were there to back me up. Now, today, I'm asking you to back me up and back up all our native people across Canada. Come on down and come and give a hand. Hi. Thank you.
Any last words there, Pat?
You heard it. Stand up, guys. Clan mother, grandmother's called for your warriors. It's time to bring the warriors. We need everybody. And we're doing this. And we're not stopping. Because I will not let this rest. I stand with Peter. I stand with his brother. I stand with Brian. And I stand with all the warriors. Your grandmother has called on you. It's time.
Where will we be next week?
Next week we will be on the ledge. We will be on the ledge with the teepees.
With a teepee.
I'll be there.
Teepees.
I'll be there.
And Nancy will be there with us.
And what are you going to tell Trudeau when you're standing on the ledge grounds?
Where's the letter I wrote you?
Where's the letter I wrote you?
How come you didn't answer my letter?
There you go.